Hey everybody, it's Autumn with Black Spring, and hope everybody is doing well today. And I'm just dropping in because I saw something in, of course, the mainstream media, or as some people call it, the mainstream mediocres. I saw something that was a little bit beyond disturbing, but of course typical. It feels like we're dealing with a deja vu all the time. And this particular deja vu belongs to none other than Don Lemon. And of course, if you're not familiar with Don Lemon happens to be a part of, I guess, what can I say? Don Lemon happens to be a part of the elite, or he thinks he's a part of the elite, and he's doing things that are quite similar. He's doing things that have been done before, and he's basically doing a little bit of a mocking or somewhat parroting what we've seen in the past, from Hillary Clinton and some of the others, from 2016. Now, this was basically a mocking that was done, and to me it's a mocking that they do that basically kind of mocks America, and I find it to be more than disturbing. And imagine being so out of touch with America that you just keep coming back for more. So let's go ahead and give it a roll here. See if you don't mind going here with me.
Obviously, it's false. And look, he also knows deep in his heart that Donald Trump couldn't find Ukraine on a
So
map
if you're
that
here,
had the letter U
welcome.
and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, an administration defined by ignorance of the world. And so that's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, the credulous boomer Rube demo that backs Donald Trump, that wants to think that Donald Trump's the smart one, and y'all elitists are dumb.
you elitists with your geography and your maps and your spelling, even though
your math and your reading.
Yeah, you're reading. Your geography, knowing other countries, sipping your latte,
all those lines on the map.
Only them elitists know where Ukraine is. Sorry, I apologize. But by the way,
oh my God!
But you know what? But it was Rick's fault. I blame Rick. But in all honesty,
blame
you know what
Rick.
NPR should do?
Why not? Sorry, hold on. Wait.
Can I tell you
give me a second? Hold on. Sorry. That was good. Sorry, Rick. That was a good one. I needed that. Okay, so listen.
Can I
get
tell
back
you
to business here. And obviously, it's false.
Okay. All right. So I don't know who's here with me right now, but where have we seen this before? Where have we seen this before? Where we have the Delites, the CNN, and the people of the ivory tower. They're trying to mock. They're mocking America. They're mocking. They refer to Americans as Trump supporters, Trump supporters, Trump supporters. Well, if you haven't seen it before, I'll tell you the first time that I ever saw this this sentiment, or this type of narcissism come out of the Democrats. And you might remember this particular clip, so if you just hang tight here with me. And I'll take you to where you may have seen this before.
To just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it. And unfortunately, there are people like that. And he has lifted them up. He has given voice to their websites that used to only have 11,000 people. now have 11 million. He tweets and retweets. They're offensive, hateful, mean-spirited rhetoric. Now some of those folks, they are irredeemable, but thankfully they are not America. But the other basket, and I know because I look at this crowd, I see friends from all over America here. I see friends from Florida and Georgia and South Carolina and Texas, and as well as, New York and California. But that other basket of people are people who feel the government has let them down, the economy has let them down, nobody cares about them, nobody worries about what happens to their lives and their futures, and they're just desperate for change. It doesn't really even matter where it comes from. They don't buy everything he says, but he seems to hold out some hope that their lives will be different, that they won't wake up and see their jobs disappear, lose a kid to heroin, feel like they're in a dead end. Those are people we have to understand and empathize with as well.
Okay, so if you're still tuning in, if you can still stand the side of Hillary or her rhetoric, and they just don't have a new playbook. You can't teach them anything different. And the thing of it, imagine being so out of touch that you're still using the same playbook from 2016. Basically alienating half of America is a part of the strategy, because they're leaking oil right about now. You've got more people watching soap operas, The Young and the Restless. Those particular shows and topics are getting more attention than this impeachment sham. And I will say, from what I've seen of the impeachment hearing, I think the Senate is pretty much laying things out very clearly. And I don't think, it takes, Columbo to figure out that, that they botched and manufactured the scandal behind the whole impeachment sham is what it is. It's very obvious that it's a sham, and that they weren't dealing with any facts. They're dealing with all this secondhand information and parroting phone calls, and we're either going to have a speedy acquittal, or you're going to actually have I guess have some of these people you're going to have maybe even Hunter Biden finally come in. I don't know. But I'm just saying that CNN is really not I don't know how I ever watched CNN. I was pretty much done with them in 2016, and this is just another example of why, I could not identify and I could not support Hillary Clinton. I mean, I don't imagine, anybody in America should be embarrassed for them and for that network. They're calling that news. And the common denominator is it seems that CNN never really gives any airtime to anybody, especially black or African American. They don't give airtime to black people unless they're using it to destroy or to manipulate people. They use black people to sell BS, and Don Lemon is no exception. He thinks he's living high in some ivory tower, which he's just basically, he's a liberal living under a social protection awning, which could be pulled out from him at any time. It's just basically, to me, they've basically waged and on their own radical, demented way, they've kind of waged it is a class warfare. If you've got these social protection classes, you've got, you're trying to white man bad everything, and we're trying to convince, blacks that, those white people are holding you down, and it's just the whole liberal welfare state. They use black people, black Hollywood, black delites to sell destruction to the black community. They also use Don Lemon to sell. He's selling everything, whatever they roll out. They know that Don Lemon's going to sell it, and they're using him because he is black. He doesn't realize he's a part of his own. He represents the demise of his own community. Just from, I don't deal a lot of hands, when it comes to race, but Don Lemon is a puppet. He's being used. Hillary might as well have her hand up his back, because he's basically parroting something that her tactic from 2016. She calls them basket of deplorables. They've referred to them to Trump supporters as rubes, or, can you imagine these people? Can you imagine the Democrats having power, getting back into power? It has got to scare. It's got to be a total nightmare if they ever resume power, because they don't see, they know best, and everybody else is on the bottom. I've heard of everything from one of Bernie's people on his campaign. I mean, you got that whole party, that Democrat Party is a total nightmare. It's a walking time bomb. I mean, see you at the gulag, basically. I don't want to see my fellow Americans at the gulag, but unfortunately, these are going to be the people to send us there if we don't get out and do what we need to do as Americans on this next election. Nobody can stay at home, and I just fear that, because I see in a lot of chat rooms and a lot of sites, oh, it's going to be a landslide. It's going to be a landslide. Well, don't let that be the reason for you not taking yourself to the polls. And I would, just don't let that be the reason, because to me, we are in for full-on communist confiscation. I mean, a consolidation. If these people get back into power, I mean, I don't, like I said, it's very disgusting. CNN is a despicable network. If you're here, I'm actually open and happy to have anybody engage. Just drop by and say hi. I'm totally fine with that. I just thought that, it's pretty despicable to have a national network. And if you go into the airports, you go into most places are blasting CNN nonstop. It's just totally propaganda. Total, they're dominating. They're absolutely brainwashing most of the other half of America, or the other half that hasn't walked away from the Democrat Party. I mean, it's a classless, it's an un-American representation. It's like it's a media cartel. They're trying to silence conservatives, and they've been suppressing my numbers. So I appreciate anybody that comes on. If you could like, subscribe, share, anything you can do to just, this is facilitating, getting the message out. This is, countering, in order to counter the algorithms, we have to share and support each other, because, we're not just, the truth is not going to come out otherwise. I think I think a lot of conservatives are doing a great job, but, we're kind of outnumbered. I mean, I think whether you subscribe to any type of conspiracy theories, tin hat wears, whatever you do, we've already figured out that most of the networks are in the tank for globalism and the Democrat Party, the DNC. These people are all working with one common goal: to take down this president with whatever they can. They'll use their radical puppets, like and activists, because Don Lemon is far from a journalist or even a, I don't even, a contributor. I'm not even sure what is his position on CNN. He's just a whining activist, an overpaid activist on CNN. He has no credibility, and he's not going to get any respect. I mean, hopefully he'll always have a job with CNN, because he doesn't represent the black community. He certainly doesn't represent me. He doesn't represent America. And these other two guys that were flanking him on that panel, who were they? I mean, it's just amazing, the people that we have on that side. I mean, how could they represent themselves, and how can America forget the way that they've treated this president, and the way that they've treated people that support America, that just want to maintain freedoms and want to restore the country's pride, restore the country's economic standings, restore respect on a global stage. But these people are all in the tank. I cannot imagine any people just sitting. I mean, I have seen people that I know watching CNN, and I just have to get out of sight, because I cannot watch that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like I said, I'm here right now. If you have time to comment, if you're listening, I appreciate that. But that was one of the. It's hard to watch, and it's also hard to watch them. I mean, they play by their own rules, and then they break their own rules, and then they start over again with just a different whine. So I just had to come on and comment about that. It's a bit of a rant. This is a bit of a rant post, but I thank you for entertaining me and having a listen to it. So if nobody else is out there or is contributing right now, I will certainly be back with something a little bit more, a little bit more substantial, other than, Hillary's deplorables and Don Lemon, and getting into the weeds with these figures. So without further ado, I will see you next time on Black Spring with Autumn.